boss, we can talk about it. In the hood, you a star, let's talk about it. People hate who you are, let's sit and talk about it. Good or bad, right or wrong, what they wanna talk about it. Y'all know y'all wanna talk about it, she just want to keep it, yeah. No bag, feeling like it's hot, need details. Brand new, fresh out the press before pre-sale. Coming live every Saturday morning like a replay. All she need is vibes, one mic and a DJ. DJ, and you feel these vibes on the freeway. All cynic, all women, DMV, stay driven. Ladyboss, MJ, win fee like Scotty Pippen. Time to the max, I swear to God, you ain't gon' wanna miss it. This a new beginning, when the wheels sit and get you good. A lot of things happen with these kids, especially about the bullies. Race sky high, we can't even stop these bullets. You got something on your mind, we can talk about it. Your body getting on your nerve, let's talk about it. You out getting up for work, we can talk about it. Good or bad, right or wrong, all they wanna talk about it. You run like a boss, we can talk about it. In the hood, you a star, let's talk about it. People hate who you are, let's sit and talk about it. Good or bad, right or wrong, but they wanna talk about it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You just tuned into the hottest show on WNDC with your girl, Ladyboss #1. Microphone checker, 1, 2, checker. I am in the building, and it is Saturday. It is a beautiful Saturday here in Baltimore. It is 90-something degrees, so we are smoking hot. And I am joined today with no other, my favorite blogger, my favorite celebrity tea-digging man with receipts. He come with receipts. No other than my homeboy, my friend, the King of Shade.
Yes, honey, come on in the room. Yes, I am here,
He
honey,
coming in the room. Come on
in
in
the
the room.
room.
Y'all gotta
Yes,
y'all gotta stay tuned to this whole show. We're gonna get down to all of the dirt and all of the tea. And like I said, he comes with receipts. I mean, he
yes,
comes with
honey.
the receipts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna bring up some of the old dirt, bringing it up to the new dirt to what's relevant today, right now. So I know a couple of weeks ago, uh, you posted that Blaze Restaurant had been shut down because they failed their service safe inspection. So let's talk about that because not only did you
Yes,
say it, you actually had the document. You had the
yes,
document.
honey. Yes, I had the documents, honey. I went and did my little research. Went to the what's the website they do the for Atlanta with the food inspections, and keyed in candy bars, and it popped up, and showed everything from what they failed on, which is mainly nastiness, not being clean, not keeping things sanitary, food not being all the way done, like common sense stuff. And I was just like, Candy, I was more so hard on Ty because Candy works. I never expect Candy to be at these restaurants twenty
Did
four
you just
seven. Who
say Candy
does?
works?
Yeah, she works. She pays the bills. Ty is a stay at home
What
dad,
y'all do?
honey.
No, what did y'all do?
He stays at home, watches Blaze, and watches their son. That's it. He's a stay at home dad. So he had no time to go. He could drop the kids off to Aunt Nora and them, and went and checked on the restaurants to make sure they keep the restaurants clean. See, that's the problem. I'm mad at Ty. I'm not mad at Candy because Candy is a boss. She works. She's in and out of Atlanta. She's booking shows, filming movies, or
Oh,
whatever she's doing. So she can't be there all the time. But Ty can't. Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, you're right. And to those who don't know, this is going to be a messy show. I'm telling you already right now. It's going to be messy from start to finish. And I'm going to be laughing from start to finish. But what I'll say about that is, for those that don't know, any restaurant dealing with food, they have to keep in line certain expectations, certain stipulations. Department of Agriculture follows up with them. There's an organization called the Surf Safe, and what that does is they actually come in and audit, and they give breakdowns of if you're in compliance. And initially, they can actually give you a warning depending on how bad the infraction is, or they can actually cite you. With the King of Shade posted is she was actually cited, and they were shut down
Oh yeah.
for several weeks behind that. And it's a state ran organization. So what
Mhm.
happens is once you're shut down, you have so much time to get compliant. And it's public knowledge just for all you guys. You can go in and anybody like eat your favorite restaurant. You could go and Google them and pull it up, and it'll ever tell you if they've ever been cited. And what I'll tell everybody listening, you will be completely just alarmed at some of our favorite restaurants, how they have been cited, how things have happened. I mean, because it's as simple as like if you go into a restaurant and you see a roach or a rodent or something like that, all you got to do is call it in. And then they log it, they document it, and then they submit somebody to come out and actually do the inspection. So something of that nature may have happened. They may have seen somebody not
Mhm.
washing their hands or not wearing gloves, and they naturally called it in. And then, and this is in between their yearly inspections that they have to go through. In between that, if somebody calls it in, they will come out and do a surprise visit.
Yes,
So
child.
it was
Mhm.
only on Blaze, but you and I have talked offline. You know, they've had Old Lady Gang for a
For a
very, very
while
long time, and
now.
they have actually different locations of the Old Lady Gang. They
Oh
have
yeah.
one on Camp Creek, and then they have one further downtown. So it's interesting that with Blaze, because this is the
The
second one,
second.
that they've
Mhm.
had this happen. Like to your point, like you figured it out on the first one, or we think you figured it out. How did you not continue to figure it out on Blaze? What do you
What
think?
did what did they figure it out on the first one, honey? Because OLG could be just as nasty too, honey. We have not got documentation that they were the cleanest restaurant in the ATL, so they may have had their own hiccups with LLG too, you know. So I'm pretty sure they and had some nasty moments that they didn't get publicly blasted. I'm pretty sure OLG has some sightings and have had to be, had to go through the same thing, but she was able to keep it shielded, or they didn't put it publicly in a document it publicly. Would I go to OLG or Blaze in the future? No, 'cause if Blaze is nasty, I'm not gonna even take a chance on OLG. I'll be scared. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait and see how they do in 6 months. Let's see how.
Yeah, I mean you're right. I mean the thing of it is like I said, a lot of our favorite restaurants you don't know about that unless you go do some dirt digging and researching, right? But because that was so public, like it
Mhm.
went through the news like wildfire, you know. And I have friends that live in Atlanta still, and they were like, yeah, it was very public. You know, it was on one of the stations down there even talking about it, and it's because of her name. Her name carries a lot of weight. I mean, she's a hometown girl. She's done a lot, and you're right. I mean, it's bad because of course, she can't run everything. We do know from her everything that she is actually involved in. She's a perfectionist. But to your point, with everything else she's doing, she can't sit and oversee everything about that. And I and like you
And
said,
Todd can. And Todd Tucker can. Yes, he
I was
can.
trying to tell you, I did.
Cause he's not booking any $1 million productions like Ken used to say all the time. We've not seen him film any $1 million movies or anything. We've not seen him make any $1 million deals. So he has enough time to go and check on the restaurants on the daily. Like she has three aunties that are living that are watching kids and a mama. So no excuses, Todd. Get it together, honey.
So I mean, just thinking about it, if you were Candy and this became so public like this, I mean, since we know that it's been opened back up, Blaze has been
Yeah,
opened
it
back
has
up
me
to
back
full
up.
attraction in this citation. But what would you do? Like, how would you? Because we know Don Juan probably is also a manager or something of that, and then Todd is the bigger boss. But how would you handle them? Like, how would you handle
um
the situation?
I would definitely have a meeting with Don Juan and Todd because Don Juan was the person that was signed off on the citation. So, that to me that entails that Don Juan is the mediator in those restaurants and is doing the duties that Todd should be doing. So it would definitely be a meeting between those two, and yeah, someone's pay will be getting cut, and someone will be getting demoted. Cause we're not gonna have them issues. Cause Candy's a big name. She's a legend, and Candy don't play that. When it comes to her money and her business, she don't play that. So someone definitely would be getting reprimanded in some way. Like we're not gonna just have my name. Look, she already got stuff her name attached to certain things as it is, and
Right.
now a nasty restaurant, and she has two in Atlanta,
You
two of
so
the well
nasty.
knowns. Like that's not a good look, especially in the COVID world. That's not
Yeah.
that's not a good look.
You bring up a really good point. In the COVID, I mean, it's not good anyway. But just with the COVID world, and we're still living in a COVID world, even though people have gotten shots and it still hasn't went anywhere, people, it is still here. People are still
That
dying
part.
from it. So you're absolutely right about the cleanliness part and all of that. That adds a whole nother dynamic. And it definitely. like, okay, so we still not clean. Like, ugh, it's definitely a big deal. I really wish the best for Candy. I hope she can get this buttoned up really quickly to
Me
where it
too.
never happens again. Bad thing is that stuff like that stays on your record forever. It can be always pulled up. And even though, it happened, it's opened back up now. We can always talk about this 2 years from now. Hey, remember when y'all were dirty? People can always say that. And hopefully,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure she's seen an influx of customers coming in there.
Almost definitely. I've seen, I see a review of their restaurant, and there's been many reviews of their restaurant that I read from Yelp years back about how nasty it was, like a year ago, 2 years ago. Like,
Right.
there's also been like reviews about their food and about the restaurant's cleanliness. So this is not, it's really not a shocker because at some point somebody's going to, these reviews are getting reported. People are sending in these reports to the Department of Agriculture, letting them know this restaurant is not being kept up well. So I hope Candy gets it together. But I wish Bravo would have had them cameras rolling because Candy was dry as hell this last season. So this was some good drama for Candy's storyline. I'm just saying, Andy Cole, Andy, you could have, y'all sped up production when Kenya came back to the show. Y'all started filming early. Y'all could start filming early to get Candy drama. Like, hello.
Well, you wear Andy out. You don't give him no breaks. You let
At
him know
all.
exactly how you feel. The thing I love about it, you would tag him in there so nice and kindly, be like, "You're not doing your job." Tag. I'd
At
be like,
all. No, sis
"Man,
is not. Sis is not doing her job at all.
oh my
Like,
goodness."
you
All
gotta
right,
do
so while
better.
we're keeping up with these Real Housewives of Atlanta, we have to transition over to the story that I really am so over talking about, but the people are still talking
Hmm.
about it because it's just so it's so exhausting. So we won't spend too long on it. This portion, this Fallon thing, I know that you've seen recently. She's done Fallon, stayed silent through the whole time while Portia and Simon was being fools all across the internet and really just trying to make Fallon look bad, but then he's the one cheating and she's the one messing with a married man, but they want to make the wife feel bad. I can't get my head around that. But anyway, Portia publicly kept saying that they were divorced and they were separated, and then you came in again with the receipts.
With the receipts, darling.
Listen, Portia better before she holler out stuff, she better make sure that the receipts can't be pulled because you are going to pull the receipts.
that part.
Let's talk
See,
about the receipts. Let's get into it. So
child.
Portia said openly on the show that the radio station that she's on and she's a part of that this man was divorced. Well, he was
Hmm.
separated and he was in the process of the divorce and he had done
Hmm.
it months ago. Based on your receipt, that was all inaccurate.
Very inaccurate, honey. One of my followers, they that don't like Portia, they can't stand Portia either. Sent me a screenshot of Portia's when Portia and Simon dancing. They sent me a video of them dancing. Then another follower sent me a screenshot of Portia's post with the "Love Wins" caption, and her talking about how much she loves this man or whatever. So then I went to her page myself so I could actually see and read it for myself on my other page because she blocked my original page years
Why would
ago.
they block you?
So,
Yeah.
but it's good for the back hashtag for the backup. So I use the backup page to go to her profile to read it myself. So then another follower, actually the same follower that sent me the first screenshot, sent me a screenshot of Fallon and Simon's divorce, um, the divorce document that they filed. But it was like a bland, and then you really couldn't see everything. So I took the case number and I went to the Fulton County records. Went to their website, keyed in Fallon and then it popped up, and I got a visual because I need visual. When I look at when I talk about receipts, I need to be able to visually see it clear to get the timeline. And he filed for divorce in February, but he was messing with Portia since January. They was in Turks and Caicos with Shamia and her husband because Shamia actually hooked them up. And then he was messing with another girl, Jessica, prior to Portia. So he's been cheating on Fallon since the end of last year, beginning of this year. So he filed for divorce in February, and they're still going through the process. They won't actually get to the end of this whole process until November. So as of today, Simon is legally a married man and still married to Fallon. So
Yeah,
the
it's so
lies,
scary, man. I mean, and the reality of it is that I mean, you and I have talked about this offline a bunch, just because it's just been so foolish and so messy.
messy.
Um, and then those are the people that, well, they weren't really friends, and then we saw how some reality people have like broke down like how people actually get on a show, and how, like, some people are more open, and they reference like Jackie from
Mhm.
Basketball Wives. She's always one that'll raise her hand and say, "Yep, you can bring him in as my friend, and I'll be the one to show him."
Mhm.
So we do know that that happens. Shout out to Tammy, because Tammy was the one that I saw it on, and then you and I started talking about. So some girls we do know are more open for bringing the cast members on as friends, but you, like we both said, the difference with this is, okay, that's part of doing your job. That's no different that if they
Mhm.
hire somebody that's my peer and they say, I want you to show her the ropes. Okay. Showing her the ropes is one thing, but inviting her to my house, having her hang out with my man, laying up in my pool, sipping
Eat
on
my
my wine
food.
and my drink, see, that's altogether different. Showing her the ropes, that's just it. We can go out to dinner. We can go to public places. We don't ever have to be in my domain with my family. Let's be really
Exactly.
clear. So I get that part. Everybody, well, she was just, yeah, she was. But again, it's no different that if on your job right now, they say, we want you to sponsor this person and show them the ropes, show them the job,
That part.
teach them all the good things and all of that, show them, how to do X, Y, and Z. We do that with our jobs. But again, you're not obligated to take them home and do all of this stuff and then bang their husband either. So,
That part. So I think I just feel like, they were acquaintances. They hung out pre her even joining the show. They had a connection. They knew it's not like Portia didn't know this woman. Like Portia knew this woman. They hung out. Portia's baby daddy and her current husband are business partners. So that means that means they always are in the same orbit, same circle. When their husbands or baby daddy husband meets up and do deals, they have parties and celebrate whatever business they have. They're together. They're around each other enough to build this relationship and rapport with each other. So the weak angle of that's not my friend. But y'all were cordial, y'all were acquaintances, y'all went out to parties, y'all was on yachts together. Like, let's not act like you don't know this girl because you do know her. Like, pre the show, like, not because of your job. Like, y'all had a relationship prior to you coming on the show. But it's cute. It's a cute angle. Of course, and it's easy to say, "Oh, she was my friend," but even if she was not your friend, was your morals and values? Because they're still a married woman. They're still her husband, and she invited you to her home, her private sanctum. Because you don't invite strangers to your home. When you invite someone to your home, you feel a level of trusting, a level of comfortability, a level, okay, we cool, we getting somewhere. So to bring
right.
you to my home and you take my man, oh yeah, yeah. That was definitely a pull up moment. But see, Foul ain't that girl. See, ain't that girl.
We
And
needed
Portia
somebody
knew
like
it.
Tammy or Evelyn, somebody like that would have pulled up on her for real,
That
honey.
part.
Drug
At
all her
Dish Nation.
go naked hair right out of her head, every strand of that go naked hair that she sound like that.
Child.
Somebody would have drug it all out of her head. You're absolutely right.
Drug out her head. Yes, honey. Got Lauren too. Lauren wanted to jump in. Her mama, Diane, would have got it too. She wanted to jump in, try to
Everybody
help
would
her
have
daughter.
everybody would have had bald patches and hair missing, fooling up with that. I mean, and then here
Yes.
recently, and you remember they was toting that picture around that Fallon had supposedly proposed to that really young guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a couple people followers had sent it to me, right? And when I'm looking at it, I said, but if you look at Fallon and you look at the guy, this isn't recent. This looks like something
Older.
older. I said, if you look at Fallon right now, and I said that back to her, it's like, no, 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 she got makeup on. I said, that's fine. But even if we pull up a picture of her back then with no makeup on and look at this video right now, this looks like that video. If you look at Fallon
Mm-hmm.
right now, she's matured. I said, so, and I said, this guy looks like a little boy, like this, like no older than 1920. I said,
Could be her son.
right. I said, that's not recent. Yeah, she's done that. Yes, but that's not a recent video. That's not now. That has nothing to do with
But they're trying to be
Portia and
messy.
her man. That has
You-
nothing to do with that.
But they're trying to be messy and trying to support Portia and trying to figure out a way to make Fallon look bad.
Right.
But Portia's a slut. Like this, she is. I mean, she
Portia,
is.
what?
She's a slut.
Ooh,
That's what she is. Like she's a homewrecker. It is what it is. Like she
ooh,
owns her sexuality. She owns
right.
that she's the queen of Thailandia. She owns that. She
But
owns
she
that.
does say that she
Uh,
is the queen of Thailandia.
yes.
That is her words. She does say that.
She said, "I'm grown." She says, "I'm grown. I'm single. I can do what I want. It's my hot pocket. If I want to share with the world, I can do that." So hey, when it fall off, that's like I said, when it falls off,
What's gonna
it,
fall off?
her hot
What's gonna
pocket,
fall off?
when it fall off and she can't use it no more, then then we all gonna have a good, all gonna get pray for her, cause child, it's okay to be free and be sexually fluid, but just to give it to everybody, anybody, cause they got money. Cause let's be clear, Simon's not her type. Bolo is her type.
Right. Bolo is
Simon has the money. She wanted
but
fast lifestyle.
Bolo ain't got the zeros behind his name like
That
Simon
part.
does. If Bolo had the zeros behind the name like Simon, she would be doing that same thing. Remember what season was that when she was chasing behind that little football player that was going to climb out the window on him? Remember when she threw him that parade in her house and he was like, I don't even know what's going on, and he told his buddy he was going to climb out the window, and the buddy made him stay. What season was that?
Season 8 was it
Yeah,
was
when she
season
was dressed,
8.
and remember she would get dressed up and wait for him on the FaceTime to call, and he wouldn't call.
Then she dated another guy the same season.
Yeah, so if Bolo had the zeros behind his name like Simon did, yeah, she would
She might have stayed
definitely
on him.
be throwing him parades like she threw the boys a parade at her
That's
house.
all.
Yeah, she would, and then the recent so through all of this, through her folks and Simon's folks trash and Falynn has recently decided to speak her truth. And
Yeah.
that video, that interview has not been released yet. Just certain clips of it has been released. I mean, what do you think we're gonna find out through this whole interview that she's done? What do you think is gonna come out?
I think I think that we probably gonna still be left confused because I don't think she really is going to just share, like really going to. It's really gonna be really gonna really get an understanding of everything. I think we still gonna be left wondering things. I think she's gonna exposed so much, because I don't think she got a check for doing this interview. I don't think she got paid to do this interview. So I don't know, so if she got a check behind it, she probably would give more. So I think she don't give enough. She's gonna give enough for the viewers to understand what she's been through, what she's going through, the things that's been said about her by him cheating and this and that. I think she's gonna clear those up, but I don't think we're gonna get we still gonna be a little confused because everything is still like in circles. So I think we're gonna get some clarity, but as far as like her being like fully blown open, I don't think she's gonna like fully just go tell it all. I think she's gonna tell
Well,
just
if she's a
enough.
smart girl on that interview, she wouldn't have said too much, and
Yeah.
she would have just allowed Bravo now to bait them in and say, okay, I can
Hmm.
tell the full story if y'all do what y'all supposed to do. I done gave y'all a little teaser of some
That
of the things
part,
that have happened in the marriage through this interview, but if y'all really want the dirt,
the tea,
my
yes, honey.
version of it.
Bring them
But
coins,
I
honey.
just think that's a slippery slope because, as we've said before, Andy is he's not gonna he's messy. Let's be really really clear, but he also has favorites. And so,
Oh
like if
yeah,
that was Kenya, he would definitely bite that. He would definitely bite that bullet and
oh
let
yeah.
whatever. So if like this whole situation was happening with Kenya, oh, he would definitely let you know everything unfold. He would let us hear everything, anything.
Oh
But
yeah.
I don't know that he'll do that because it's gonna make Portia look worse than what she is if this girl really
Hmm.
like
I agree.
tells it. So that's gonna be the kind of see what's gonna end up
Yeah.
happening with it.
But I think it's gonna be a good interview. But I think, like I said, I think she's gonna say so. This only gonna share so much. Like you said, just enough, and then hopefully she can get a interview from like either Angie reach out to her or E News or Gossip. They really can, like, they really would better pay her to get what they want out of her, because they'll pay
Right.
her the
They
coins
can
to
pay
get
her the
the
coins.
kid.
They gonna have to pay it.
Yeah. So to get her on there,
That's her story. She should be paid for it.
she
Let's be
should.
clear. Simon has already publicly said, and we have information that he wants to be on. He wants a reality show.
Oh yeah.
He wants to be a reality show star, and I say air quotes because we use the word star so loosely. Just in this day and time, any and everybody's a star. So he wants to be that. And then if I'm Portia, that would be the first thing on my mind. Are you using me just to get, to get what you ultimately said you wanted before me? And that's the thing I don't get.
But
Um,
Portia's a cloud chaser. She's a cloud chaser. She uses people for cloud. She used Cordell for cloud. She was Cordell's bird, honey. She's always said, I always said, she said back in season 6 that Cordell, was playing with those gay rumors for years and stuff, and she signed on to help him protect his image. So she's used to cloud chasing. She used to
she
using
did say that
people
about
for
Cordell,
cloud.
and then when
And
they broke up, that's when she started hollering out he was her beard and
oh
she
yeah,
was his beard and all of that mess. And I'm just like, honey, if that's what you were, why didn't you just keep it to yourself? Like,
that
why would
part.
you yell that out and make yourself look foolish? Again, yet again, here you go making yourself look foolish. Sometimes just being silent is
It's
bigger than
key.
anything you could ever say. But she called herself trying to trash him, but just because he said that, she just wasn't the wife, and let's be really clear, we've seen it unfold. We've seen it
Exactly.
unfold. And I always felt bad for her with Cordell, right? And then after
Me
the whole
too.
Cordell thing was over, and I seen like who she really is, how easily led and manipulated she is, I was like, okay, well, this makes sense why he was so controlling over her, because he knew that she could be easily influenced to do
So
a
she was a
lot of
weak
things.
woman, very weak, very weak in the sense of weak minded. Like he knew that she could be easily, controlled and manipulated. That she all she wants is money. All she wants is a nice lifestyle. So he knew that if he just gave her that he train her. He definitely trained her because when we first met her, she was trained. She was a housewife to the T, honey. Holding Cordell down. She stayed in front of everyone at their reunion. She said, I stand with my husband. So she was doing her
Remember
job.
she said she got a picture perfect life. Remember she said she had a
Yes,
picture
she
perfect.
did.
I said, okay.
Come on, picture perfect, honey. Come on, picture perfect. It wasn't that perfect, honey. Her mama caused most of her problems in her marriage anyway, because Cordell didn't like her mama. Cordell said her mama, her mama used to be fat, was on the couch with a box of pizzas, honey, when he would come in the house on some expensive, it's expensive beds, couches and stuff, eating pizza and wings, being a mess. So her mama caused a lot of her problems. Definitely caused a lot of problems in their marriage. I
Well,
definitely,
unfortunately, some women do have those mothers that, take girl by any means, secure the bag, do whatever you have to do, step on whoever you have to step, and then that's
yeah.
some people's real reality.
It is. Her mama
Um,
trained her. Her mama raised her
That's
to be that
probably why,
way.
think about it, that's probably why, and she's always talked about how she was bullied and how she never had friends, but that's probably a big portion of it too, because if that was her mindset, step on whoever you have to step on to secure your bag with a man and do whatever you have to do, um, even little girls being young, you're not just going to tolerate certain things.
Sure ain't.
And that's
So,
probably why she had so many issues with making friends and being accepted.
and she has low
Uh,
self esteem. She has low self esteem. She's very. You can
yeah.
tell like she's a broken little girl inside, and just
Right.
is
She's a
she's
broken little
crying
girl.
out
She got to
for
fix that,
attention.
that broken little girl inside of her before she'll be able to pull herself together. But that's if she wants to. Let's be really clear. It doesn't seem like she wants to with these antics she got going on. So,
Exactly.
but
So,
we're gonna keep Fallon lifted. Hopefully everything pans out for her. I mean, because real talk, she could really be messy and keep pushing back the divorce and don't give it to him, and
that
keep
part.
making him like she could keep. Nope, I'm fighting it and keep, because you could do that a couple times.
Oh yeah, you can string it along. She could do
Yeah,
that.
so
Be messy.
Fallon could really be messy and do that too. Be like, huh? Y'all won't be whisking away doing nothing on my dime.
That part.
And why I'm still his wife if he drops dead today tomorrow? Guess who?
Hello. Hello. She could
So
do that,
yeah,
honey.
and that's the thing about it. It's funny because when you Google this guy, it talks about all the properties and things he have, and it's so crazy because people get it always confused. That's what he's worth. That doesn't mean that's the money that he had.
That
Because
part.
you can own 50 properties, right? And you could be worth $50 million. Worth
Hello.
$50 million.
Worth.
Y'all need to Google what worth means. That does not
Hello.
mean he has $50 million sitting in the bank. That means he would have to sell off those assets. If he sold off all of those assets and everything paid in, he would have $50 million. That does not
That
mean
part.
he has $50 million sitting in the bank. And I think that's where people get it confused.
Definitely misconstrued.
What
Definitely
you're worth and what you
misconstrued.
actually have is two totally different things. He could be
Mm-hmm.
hemorrhaging money from these businesses and stuff he has right now. We don't know, and maybe that's why he wants to be connected to reality TV. To, to,
Yeah.
to, to have people to start going to these businesses that he has, these establishments, written out his houses. Think about it. You know, when Peter first opened that first restaurant down there, he got a lot of buzz because of him being on the show. And because
That
Cynthia's
part.
name being attached to it and Cynthia being an icon in her own right, that's how he got the buzz. It wasn't because
Yeah.
we even cared about Peter. We didn't. He was Mr. Cynthia. We liked him,
Yeah.
but he was Mr. Cynthia. And then that restaurant he had,
Bar
everybody would
one.
go down there to see if they could see him, they could see her. You know, you drinking, you having a good time. So it was the ambiance of it. But it was definitely because it was on the show and it was connected to Cynthia that wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
to, to be a part of it. So that's the
Yeah.
same thing with this guy. He may be worth a good penny, but what does he really have? We don't know. And
Exactly.
free publicity with this mess with this divorce, and then now people googling and finding out who he really is and what he has. Was they would go pop in there just to see what it's about. Spend their
Mm-hmm.
money, you got a two drink minimum or whatever that looks like. I'll do that just to see what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that I found interesting. She's chasing the bag, but we don't even know what type of bag he got.
I just, I keep her daughter listed in prayer because she has a child, and she's and I and her child is growing up in the midst of all this chaos. This baby that doesn't know what's going on, is not aware of what the mess her mama's causing, and I hope Pilar stays unaffected as she gets older and grows and starts that it does not affect her as she grows up. That her Dennis's mother, because his mother don't play. His mother was not playing in
Right,
games for Porsche when it came to that prenup stuff. She was like, "You gonna sign this prenup because you're not getting my son's empire." So
right.
I pray that Pilar is under her roof, getting her guidance from that woman and not from Diane. Diane raised gold diggers. We want Pilar to be an accomplished black woman, honey, like her grandfather, an accomplished black icon for the right reasons. That part.
You said accomplished. What do you think if you were Dennis? In all honesty, what do you say? What do you do? Like if that's your baby mama, and like what do you say? What do you do if you were Dennis?
I mean, I wouldn't say much. She's grown, but I would just keep my child shielded from all this mess, and let her know, like, you can do what you want to do, and you can make irrational decisions, and you can, you know, uh, live your life the way you want to live it. But my child won't be a part of that mess. It will not be a
Right.
part of the shenanigans at all. So I would definitely keep my child shielded from all that. If I was him, I would definitely. That'd be my only concern is my child, because her hot pocket is not mine. At that point, we not together no way. So whatever you do with it, if it fall off, that's yours. I ain't gotta eat it. So,
Right.
so,
If it fall off, I ain't gonna eat it.
hey,
Okay.
look. So I would just take my child and focus on my child, raising my child. So,
And with that being said, you bring up an important part. That's the reason why Mark pushed back so heavy on Kenya, although Kenya's not her, because he didn't want his daughter to make sure his daughter's not in the midst of the foolishness these girls will pull.
mm-hmm.
I mean, his concern was valid, although Kenya is not that girl. Even when Kenya have had the relationship on the show, it was never anything like this.
No, I
No, it
wasn't
never. And even with her marriage, it's not anything like this.
at
So
all.
Mark had a valid concern, and to your point, Dennis definitely has. if he has a concern, he hasn't voiced it, it would be
Mhm.
valid.
Very valid.
Yeah.
Very valid. As a father, it would be very valid his concerns, and like you said, with Kenya and Marcus, their situation is completely different because you don't see this. They're not her situation. Nothing compares to this situation at
Mhm.
all. But Marcus' concern was very valid. And, he knows he's not familiar with the show, but he knows shows like this usually highlight all the negative. So him having a child that's a part of the show are going to be featured on a show like this, his concerns are was very valid. So yeah.
Yeah. So transition it over to your other favorite show, Basketball Wives. And
Yes.
let's get into this season with the big thing around it was um, OG accusing Evelyn of having the colorist behavior and targeted her because she was dark.
Mhm.
Like myself, she's a dark girl. Um, and that she doesn't fit into the mold of you know, what the world say is pretty. And naturally, a lot of that stemmed around what was that the season before when her and Evelyn got into it, and OG brought up Chad and said,
Mhm.
"Well, you think kind of like what he likes, but he was in my DM and he and I was talking back and forth, and he likes my
Mhm.
look too." And that's kind of where it spiraled out of control. Like
Mhm.
Evelyn was like, "He ain't like your look, what does that even mean?" What? And OG was, well, I got receipts. And she did have the receipts or whatever, but that's where a lot of that stems from. If, those that's listening, that's where a lot of that stems from. That, and then off season is when I think a lot of this colorist stuff really start to come to a forefront because wasn't OG being more vocal about it, saying, "Oh, she felt that way because I'm dark." Is that how it transpired? I think that's how it unfolded, right?
Yes, as you said, they um had a blow up in season 8. They had a blow up in it got worse when they went out of the went on the cash trip. And they had back and forth, and like you said, she threw up Chad as a weapon to Evelyn, of course. That's him being mentioned is going to be a sore spot, and she knew it. So throwing him up and saying, that she knows what he likes and that he's hollering at her, but clearly, Evan's reaction to it was a human reaction, and she had a right to react the way she did because you tried to, say that he likes women like you, and basically putting yourself above Evelyn in a way. And yeah, and it's transpired from there, and they just had it back and forth, and you know, I feel like OG's issue is really what normal people go through. Everybody's not gonna like you, and
Right.
she took them not liking her or her not meshing with the cast well and made it into a racial thing. Because everybody's not gonna like you. She didn't get along with Malaysia. She didn't get gel with Evelyn. She didn't, she never had a chance to gel with Shawnee. But she called Shawnee a colorist too, and she called Jackie a colorist. And Jackie was her only friend on the show.
Well,
So
with with the Jackie thing, Jackie own daughter said she had colorism
she
dealing with her.
did.
So
She
Jackie,
did.
we know Jackie definitely got some issues. The interesting thing, like you said, with Shawnee, I, I don't really think it's colorism. I think Shawnee and Evelyn has a relationship, and even when Evelyn isn't right, Shawnee really doesn't say anything because that's just her girl. And I think that's what that was more about. I don't think Shawnee has an issue with dark skinned women. It's just that
Her kids
Evelyn
are
is her
dark.
friend. Right.
Her
It's
daughters
just
are dark
Evelyn's her
skinned.
friend, and that's all
So
that is. I think that had nothing to do with colorism. No.
it did, and she just couldn't deal with the fact that she was not liked. Like they didn't get along. Like because her energy was too. She came off very strong, very 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 aggressive. She did. Each of them all had aggressive moments. Evelyn's been called aggressive. Still from this day, from
Evelyn was
having back
pretty
in,
aggressive at one point. She had
she was
everybody before
aggressive.
OG showed up.
But she was aggressive. But OG's point was OG tried to make it seem like she was the only one that ever been called aggressive on the show. Ever's been called aggressive since season
Oh,
4 when
she's
her
been
and
called
Kenya Bell,
aggressive,
you
hood
know,
rat, ghetto. They've been
yes,
called that from the beginning of the show. Like,
exactly. And still,
and they always
called
say
that.
she's a pretty girl, but they say so they'll say all those things first, and then they'll say, but she's a pretty girl. But they've said them. You're right. I can't even.
Yeah, so it's not like OG's the only one that ever been called aggressive. Tammy was called aggressive.
Oh,
You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
Yes.
In a
And
bully.
Tammy was called aggressive all way to the end.
Yes, in a bully. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
not like
it
you
was
been
bullies.
picked
That's right.
out and made special. Like they picked you out and want to label you aggressive, and then their whole reunion when they had her when they separate the cast, for safety reasons that the cast didn't feel comfortable, and they have a right to not feel comfortable. Is that that's their choice, and she made that an issue because her and Tammy were put in a separate room, but Tammy didn't show up because she didn't want to do the reunion. She wasn't sick; she just didn't want to do the reunion. And the other girls, was didn't want to be around OG, and OG took that as a racial thing and made it, and that really blew it up because then the fans hopped on it. Oh yeah, y'all being racial because they had a whole conversation with Shawnee. Shawnee and the reunion host, the host of the reunion, had a conversation about colorism because the fans were mad about the reunion and how it looked like y'all were isolating the dark skinned girl from the light skinned girls. And it's like it was no, that's not the case. It's because they were uncomfortable. She is, she's aggressive. She's threatening to break people's jaws. She threatened to kill poor Kristen. She threatened to choke out poor Phoebe and black her eye. Like that's aggressive. That's hostile. Very hostile. Like very. She pushed Shawnee. And I must knock her boss out. And that's her boss. She signs her checks. You pushing your boss. You crazy.
Well, they do get mad and cuss Shawnee out there. The people do get mad with
But
Shawnee.
pushing her, like she actually physically pushed Shawnee.
Yeah, and Shawnee be like, okay, won't
But
be
she
here
signed them
next week.
checks. You can't
Shawnee
be
is, like, I ain't gonna get into it with you. Okay, you won't be here next season though.
that
That's how
part.
Shawnee roll with it. She ain't gonna, she ain't getting into all that.
Yes, but I just think it could have been handled differently. The label, Evan, a colorist, and then she getting death threats from from OG's fans. They sending her death threats, threatening her family, and she had to move to a whole new home, and a whole new neighborhood, a whole new area
Yeah,
because she had a school age child that in her home with her. So now, it's safety reasons, and I feel like OG didn't. She should have came out and said to her fans, "These from your fan base." Hey, I don't condone the threatening, this and that. You can be
right.
upset, but don't do that. You're going too far. And she didn't do it. She enabled it, and she kept it going. And she kept perpetuating it
Yeah,
because she
and
had
then it
no
took me back to
validity.
like this season by time because a lot of that happened, and then the season started, and it was still all hell breaking loose.
Yes, and she was no had no validity. And then this last season that they had, they tried to get the girl to figure out to talk to her. They put them in two separate houses, and to get
Oh
them time to
yeah,
be with each
yep.
other.
Because
And
Jackie had said
yes,
you're right.
and they never got nothing accomplished because she still didn't open up.
That's what I'm
She
saying.
was
Did
being
they ever get to the
negative.
bottom of it though? Because I don't remember us ever getting to
No.
the bottom of it.
No, because OG never was willing to really open up about her feelings and really express what she
Right.
felt. She was very negative. She had this negative energy, very defensive, always guarded. It's like, girl, they're trying to talk to you. Malaysia and Christian went to talk to her to see if she would be willing to talk to Shawnee. She was willing to talk to Shawnee, but then she flipped on Malaysia and Christian in the same moment, and it just Shawnee just said, forget it. It's like she not he's not get they not couldn't get anywhere. So her and Shine never got to sit down. They never had a conversation. Her and Evelyn never had a conversation because OG was just not. She was just not. She couldn't give a valid reason to Jackie. Like she never gave a valid reason and really clarify what she means by them being
And I
colors.
think
What
we all to
examples?
Jackie because if I'm your friend, right, and we know we filming, but you've made these comments, right, I would have been really pressing her more. Like, no, you owe it to the people, your fans, and even people that aren't your fans, to get to the bottom of this. Let's get to it. What specifically did she say, or what specifically is she doing? I would have really pushed her. Like,
Me
and it wouldn't
too.
have been well you see it. No, no, no. Give me specific examples. I'm that girl. Give me specific examples of what you're saying is happening so that I can help. I can support you. Let's be really clear. If she's saying things
Exactly.
happen and she's giving valid reasons, right? I am going to support. I'm going to be like, well, yeah, Evelyn, based on what she's told me, this does seem this way.
Exactly.
Or, well, listen, girl, you said that, but I don't see that as what you're saying it is. You have a right
Hmm.
to your opinion, and I hear you, but no. And as her friend, like she said to friend, I would have said that to her. I really would have pushed her to
Exactly.
say what it was, and then if it was something I agreed with, I would have said it right there on camera. I would have said it to Evelyn. I would have said it to Shawnee. With these things that she's bringing up, I understand where she's coming from. or these
Exactly.
things she brought up is hogwash. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. But
But
she didn't do
I would
that.
have taken a stance on it. Let's be clear.
Exactly, and she didn't do that, and so she just further validated, validated Evelyn's, Evelyn's innocence and innocence in a way because she called herself a colorist. So you accusing Evelyn of being a colorist, but you said yourself you are a colorist. So that means you have the issue. It's not Evelyn. It's you that have the issue with lighter skinned women. You have issue with women who look prettier than you because you're insecure with the way you look. Because she said as a child she was told by a teacher that she would never amount to anything because she was dark skinned. So I'm like, those issues are that you perpetuating, you putting
Right.
what happened to you in the past on Evelyn, on Shawnee, on those girls. When in actuality, they're not the root of your issue. They're not the cause of your issue. You've been had this problem, and you just don't have you have issue with lighter skinned women. She
Yeah,
does.
I totally agree with that. Like I said, and just like we've talked offline, just a lot of these terms like colorism and so many other terms that we can speak about is being used a lot lately.
A
And
lot,
some of them have validity. Some of them do.
and some of them
But
are reaching.
me being a dark skinned girl, I haven't had a lot of that type of stuff happen to me, but I could definitely where I hear stories, right?
Hmm.
And different times in my life where I've been like, oh, yeah, now thinking back on it, yeah, that probably is what that was. So I get it, right? But what I'm saying is when people say terms like that is happening, especially on certain platforms, they already know that it's going to get a certain level of buzz because it is a lot of that really does happen, especially in that
Exactly.
industry. Um, we know that beauty sometimes is equated with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with beauty,
Hmm.
right? It has everything to do with the color of the skin. And
Exactly.
I've talked about girls that are a lot lighter, but they're not beautiful. but they're referred to as that way. And we've talked
Exactly.
about darker girls. Like we always talk about Kenya, how naturally beautiful she really is. And it's
Hmm.
always interesting how people will try to come for her and say she is, and I'm thinking, and you and I have even said it, there's not a person in this world that's gonna look at Kenya and say she's not beautiful. Now,
That part.
let's not talk about her attitude. They get mad with her attitude and they say stuff like that. But let's just, if she's sitting there with her mouth closed, not saying anything or doing anything, and you're looking at her features and you're looking at her, she's beautiful.
But gorgeous,
Period.
stunning.
I mean, so let's be really clear. People do definitely judge people on the color of their skin. It's very
Hmm.
we've made it, and not us, but this world has made it very normal to be. Oh, she's darker, she's not pretty. Oh, she's lighter, she's gorgeous, and we're like, okay. So, and that's the bad thing about it. When you're saying stuff like that and saying that somebody is a colorist, it can be very detrimental to their
It definitely
career and to
can.
everything. And like you said, this girl was getting death threats, and that's definitely a bad deal.
It is, definitely. Now, I just, if OG would have been able to really explain and really open to explaining, talking, and really giving us reasons of why she felt that way, and it really, really valid instances of that happening to her on the show, then we as the viewers as well as the girls would have been able to understand and
Oh
correct
yeah,
those things. But she never did that, so it's like you're reaching. You just reaching for nothing. You want drama with Evelyn because Evelyn is the queen. She is the OG. She is the HBIC. She is the hierarchy. Shawnee is the executive producer, but Evelyn is one of those girls. It's always been that way. Evelyn's always been in charge of the girls. Shawnee just writes those checks.
Evelyn has always been the girl to bring any and everything that you need, whether it was the fighting, the constant arguing. Like she definitely is that girl. How do you feel about her publicly saying that she's stepping away from the show? I mean, she's done that before when she was engaged to her son's father. She
Yeah.
stepped away from the show for years and kind of just worked on their relationship and being a mom. But she's saying now publicly that she's stepping away and that's it. It's done. She's not gonna come back. How do you feel about that?
I was sad when I first saw it and I watched the interview. I was like, oh no,
You
my
were
girl's
saying the same
leaving. I
thing.
was sad because I want to miss her on the show because she is the show. This is her show. Like she been on the show since day one. She's an OG, So and she's she's fabulous. Her fashions, her one liners, just everything about her I love. So her essence, being a part of the show is definitely it's a sad moment, but I understand her as a human. She's a human being first, and she has a real life outside of the show. And sometimes you have to leave and take a break and do other things because this won't last always. So she has to
Right.
look outside of basketball hours and have other ventures and do other things and focus on her child. She has a school age child that she's raising, and she wants to
Right.
make sure she gives him the attention and energy that he needs. And she has her oldest child, her daughter, and her family.
Her
Like they
oldest one
were
is beautiful. She's doing a
beautiful,
lot.
stunning.
She
And
she really
so
grew into she really grew into her look. I mean,
yeah,
when she was
Shanice is
younger,
gorgeous.
she looked a little different, but now she has really evolved. I mean,
Yes.
she's a beautiful woman,
Classy, very
gorgeous.
classy, and she's very classy. She stays out of. She's not. You never see her in any public, scandals or any public anything
Yeah,
negative in the
yeah,
public. She's very recluse, and I like it about her about her daughter. I like it about her family. She's a beautiful family, and her mom. She said her mom and her sisters were really relieved when she told them she was not coming back to the show because they see what she's been through. And these last 2 seasons were a lot for her. And me
right,
and her have I've get a chance to really get to know her, you know, in our DMs, we have conversations, and I send her little text of encouragement, and I, and I, and let her know that you got soldiers on your side. We got you, boo. We holding you down over here, and and I let her send her a message and let her know, that I understand that she's,
well,
her
the
leaving the
people
show,
that
and I
you
miss
like, you
her,
always do check on them.
and I
Now,
miss
the ones
her. I'm
you
gonna miss
don't
her.
like, you will shade them to no end, i.e., heavenly, and we'll get into
Yes,
medicine next. But
but I
the
did
ones
send her
that
a
you
message.
actually like, oh, you're really kind to them. You
Oh
check on
yes,
them when things happen in their family,
oh
and that's in public.
yes,
You will DM them privately. And one
oh
thing,
yeah,
I gotta say this about you. One thing I can really respect about you, and regardless of how your followers feel, because you got a love and hate with your followers. Some of them
oh
love you, some
yeah.
of them really hate you. But what I will say is a lot of these celebrities, actual celebrities, DM him and he be having correspondence, and you've never seen him post
Mm-mm.
the conversations between these people. And that's one thing I got to have a lot of respect for you for, because you don't do that. You have the conversations, you say what you're going to say to them, they respond back,
Voice calls and everything, honey.
but
I don't need none of that.
you never posted, and you have never publicly said, well, this is what this one said. And that's what,
Mm-mm.
and it's crazy because
Oh,
you could,
honey.
and you could say a bunch of more followers behind some of this stuff that these people have told you offline,
That part.
but you hold, their privacy at a certain level of respect. And I shout out to you. I mean, literally,
Thank
I've never told you
you.
that. This is the first time I've ever told him this, but I really respect that, because, like I said,
Thank
you could do
you.
so many things with some of the information that you have, and you don't.
'Cause I like them, I like them. I genuinely care about their well-being. I genuinely want them to be healthy, and and have love and be loved, and I genuinely care for them. I genuinely care that they're okay. So I would, when we have personal conversations, I want them to know like this is genuine. It's not for no cloud. It's not for me just
Right,
to, because if we have conversations, if I was doing all that, they wouldn't be comfortable sharing anything else with me. Because it's okay,
right,
you just because now I have to be guarded with you because now you just one of those regular fans that just wants a cloud. No, I want you to know that I genuinely care, and I care about your well being, and I like you, so I'm going to support you. And the tea you give me, I never share it. I never share where it comes from, ever. I spilling tea and never gave an indication of where I actually got it from because I don't do that. But I've gotten things, and to have private conversations, voice calls, like all that. But I would never do that because I'm not that type of person to do that.
right.
I don't need the cloud. I don't need to cloud off them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's to me, it's
Okay, so
there's a level of trust when they
what
when
we
they
gotta
have
roll
conversation.
into is we gotta help Shawnee pick her new cast. Because with Evelyn leaving, Tammy's gone, the bad girls are gone.
Well, not the bad
Jackie
girls.
wants to be a bad
Ooh,
girl, but she's more like the the original gangster of the group, and she's in L.A. anyway, because it started in Miami. So let's stay in L.A.
Mhm.
And that's what Shawnee does now is the L.A. So we've got to help Shawnee cast a new crew because with these people that she's announced that should be coming back on, like British Williams, I don't think British is going to do anything for the show. I don't think British did anything for the show the last time. What do you
But
think?
I give Bridge a chance. I like British on her first season. I thought she didn't really get a fair chance. That she needed to come back for a second season because we really didn't get to know her like that. So I think this time we'll get to know more of her. And she's a mom now, and her ex fiance, ex husband, they have a lot of drama going on. So I definitely would love to see her back.
They do, but I just thought, I mean, for me, British just came on and I think she was trying too hard to be the it girl. That never transcended for her because it was already it girls in play. Like they were already in position. And then at one point she was trying to be a mean girl, and that didn't work out too well for her. So she was trying to be the mean girl. She started with the it girl, then she tried to be the mean girl. That didn't work for her. I've just, like you said, she does have a lot of drama going on. How much of that she's going to show, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you said that you liked her. You thought she did have something. What do you think she's going to bring this time, though?
Yeah, I think with her drama with her Lorenzo, and and she has businesses too, so she's doing some things, and we didn't get to know her, so this be a chance for us to really get to know her and really get a well
I guess
developed
the other
story.
side to it is we can get to know her now because the other eight girls aren't on there.
That part, so we get a chance to really get to know her, and she get to shine.
We didn't care before, really. And then who's the other folks that she's bringing back?
Brooke and Duffy.
Brooke was always my girl. I've always been a huge fan of Brooke. Shout out to Brooke. I mean, my other dark skinned beautiful sister. Always been a
She was
fan of Brooke.
boring.
But
Mm-mm,
Brooke
she
is
was
a married
boring.
woman now, and her dude isn't um, a basketball player, and he doesn't he's not moving around like that. So my only thing with her bringing Brooke back, what's going to be Brooke's storyline? I don't know. I've never publicly heard yet that hopefully it doesn't happen that her and her husband has all this stuff going on. But my only thing with bringing Brooke back, what's going to be the storyline for
But
Brooke?
Brooke was my least favorite. When she was on the show, she was
She's your
boring.
least favorite.
One of my yes, she was boring. She hooked up with the Govan girls, and they were dry too. So she was just very boring, and she picked the wrong clique to link up with, and she just was just she just didn't do it for me. And she was so obsessed with Drea, and and wanted to have this drama with Drea on the show to stay on the show, but it actually got her kicked off the show because the viewers hated her as well. So yeah.
Okay, so then Duffy, like, what is Duffy gonna do? Because Duffy
I
is
like Duffy. I like British. I feel like she really didn't get a chance to really show her, her life. She only got to see parts of her. So I think her getting a second chance would give us a chance to see her as a new mom, really as really in her space as a mother, as a businesswoman, and her doing other things outside DJing. So I think we'll get a chance to see her
I don't
outside
think I
of
want to
the
see that. All
girls.
them girls got kids. I ain't got time for these
But I'm
kids.
saying like we get to see her outside of see more of her, get to know her more of who she is, because we didn't really get to see much of her. All we saw was her and Tammy fight. We didn't really get to see
That's
her
true.
and her being Brandy's friend, and that's it. We never
Well,
really got to see
Brandy's
her
friend and
life.
she's Malaysia's friend too, because Malaysia knew her
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So and her and Malaysia fell out at the end,
Yeah,
by the end of the show. So seeing their relationship, how they will interact now, are what space are they in now? And they said Brandy may be coming back as well. She may be coming back.
I like Brandy. Now you know I was a Brandy fan, but I was a Brandy fan before Brandy, got on the show. I know Brandy's story with her husband, and I just remember her years ago because I'm a basketball girl, and her trying to get pregnant, couldn't get pregnant, and then the cancer came up, and then the husband shaved his head for every single game because she didn't have hair, and so it was odd when Brandy actually joined the show. I was shocked, and then when Brandy started telling us how this man was cheating out of both fans, like I was shocked because just knowing him from basketball, naturally that wasn't something they were saying. So I didn't know that. That I did learn. I had no idea that he was around there doing all of that though.
But she's boring to me too. She's my least favorite
Woo!
on the show.
I like
Very
Brandy.
dry, very dry. You know, I liked her at first. The first season she came on, I liked her. I thought, okay, she's cool. But by season four, it was like she kept, we knew her struggle with cancer. We knew her story from season three. Season four come in, she's still talking about her struggles she's talking about cancer, her story with cancer for another season. Like, what's outside of that? Like, who are you outside of the cancer story?
Well, her
Who
husband
are
cheated
you?
all them years. I
But
know
she
he
didn't. But she
cheated.
didn't really talk about that. She talked about her cancer. Like, it literally was her
Well, hopefully she
storyline.
comes back now. She gets into
So, and
all
she was
the
obsessed with
bad that she's
Drea.
had because that's what
And
was
she was
there.
obsessed with Drea. She was picking fights with Drea, trying to bully Drea, trying to bully Angel Love, trying to bully Angel Brink. She was bullying girls that were smaller than her.
I
This
feel like
woman, this woman
Brandy,
is big as Godzilla,
she
picking with the little
ain't bad.
girls.
She bad.
But
She's
she
a
did. But she didn't
small
want it.
girl,
But she didn't want the smoke with
and
Tammy or
she's
Evelyn though. So if you gonna come for the big dogs, come for Tammy or Evelyn. Nah, she went for the small girls, the small girls that she knew couldn't fight her. She knew wouldn't be able to handle her.
they need to keep their
See,
mouths closed if they can't fight. Then
now they can
I'm
talk. She
not
just need to
Jocelyn.
she need to keep
Step
that,
up,
have that
sister.
energy. She need
Step
to have that
up,
energy
sister.
with Tammy and Evelyn. When Tammy got in her face, that energy shifted because she knew Tammy would have popped in her face. She knew who to go
Well,
to.
it
She
would have
knew who
been
to
a
come at
battle
her.
of the Royales then.
Brandy was still. I was glad she left the show. I hope she does not come back to the show. If she does come back, she's a whole new storyline, a whole new transformation. Cause she get back on here talking about some sad stories again, I'm gonna be so completely done.
You gonna personally write Shawnee on in?
Yes, and say,
And I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
Shawnee be
say,
funny actually. So what I was thinking about, Shawnee needs to bring the show back to like how it was in Miami, the root of it all.
yes,
And so Shawnee needs to get the rah rah girls back. And these three that we just talked about, they're not those girls. I don't care what they do. They can come in riding on a horse, spinning around, everything. They're not these girls. And I was thinking about the girls that are the girls. So listen up, Shawnee, because I'm going to send this to you. Larsa Pippen, Scottie Pippen's wife, that has publicly been with a lot of basketball players. Um, Larsa has been best friends with the Kardashians. Larsa has been around in the industry for a very long time. Again, we've seen she's married to Scottie Pippen still as of now, and they're divorced, separated, whatever they got going on. But we have visibly seen her with a lot of ball players. She's somebody that could definitely add that Miami when it first started feel because all the messiness she just has going on in her life. She's pretty to look at. She knows her way around. She has a story to tell, a bunch of stories to tell. I would love to see Larsa on there. Love to see Larsa on there. I don't know if
okay,
Tawny gonna be willing to pay Larsa because she's gonna have to pay because Larsa was actually married to a baller like that. Larsa's gonna command a certain type of money. I don't care,
that
Shawnee.
part.
You need to open up them books and get Larsa on that show. Because Larsa would be getting. Can you imagine the chaos with her and them other girls? Oh,
Yeah, I think she'd be good, a good addition. But I would like Khloe Kardashian to join the Best
oh,
Wives
I'm not
podcast.
mad with you. I
Yes,
can see that. But see, you know
cause
why I think
she's
Chloe wouldn't do it though? Because of the family name. And it would be great look for Chloe because getting outside of the bad thing about Chloe is, and I like Chloe. I know how everybody else feel about Chloe. Chloe's always under the shadows of those sisters. She's always compared to those sisters. It don't matter what Chloe do with her looks and her body. They always gonna say, "Well, she's not Kim. She's not Courtney. She's not either of them younger two, the Jenner girls." I think
mhm.
Chloe would be a good addition to there because we know Chloe didn't have her run with the basketball players.
Yes, her
And she
love
knows
story
her
with
way around
Lamar.
too. So I think,
Yes,
okay, so Shawnee, we giving you Larsa, and Larsa is friend, and was friends with these families. So her and Chloe could be friends to each other. They can make up and be friends to each other. Chloe, and then my other one would be Selena Powell and them wild girlfriends that she has. Selena Powell has been with a lot of people in general, not just you know basketball players, but she is hiding in LA, honey, and Everybody's trying to pull up to Selena and get a piece of Selena. Everybody. I mean, she publicly kept putting, and she's the one that's known for putting these dudes out there. When she get mad with them, she'll screenshot all the videos that ain't sent, all the messages, and she puts them straight out there. And think about it, Sean. You wouldn't even have to pay her as much as you would have to pay the Kardashian or Larsa. You wouldn't even have to pay her as much because all she is a get around girl in LA. But she is the it get around girl. For some odd reason, they all flock to her. So you wouldn't even have to pay her as much. Get Selena
No,
Powell and
I
that
agree.
one girlfriend that runs through the basketball players. Get them on the show. That those are the people who anybody else you think.
I would bring back somebody. I would bring back Mika Claxton. I liked her on her season of the show.
Who?
Mika from Mika Claxton. She was on the Miami season 3. That's the
Oh,
one Tammy had
Mika.
hit in the face on on that girl ship. I think she would. I think her coming back because we didn't get to know a lot of her on the show, and her and Speedy are not together anymore. She's divorced, so
That's
I would love her to come
true.
back
I
and see
forgot
what
all
she's
about
doing
that girl. You're
currently.
right. I
Yes, and
forgot
she's
all about that.
chocolate, and she definitely can replace OG because she's a
She's
beautiful
pretty.
chocolate queen.
Yeah,
She's a
she. No,
gorgeous
I
chocolate
forgot all
queen.
about her. You're right.
Yes,
Okay, Shawnee. So listen up.
yes,
Larsa Pippen, Khloe Kardashian, Selena Powell, and bringing back Mika. Now, like I
yes,
said, those first two, you got to dig deep in that bag, but you got it. You got it, Shawnee. We know you got it.
yes.
Those other two ain't gonna be as costly, but those first
No.
two will. But I think it's gonna get you back to the ratings you had when Miami exploded and you was popping in Miami with that show to the point where you created the LA. Let's be clear, Miami was jumping off so much, you created the LA. So myself and King of Shade just gave it to you. Those are the
Yes.
names. Those are the girls. You don't have to thank us now. The only thing we're asking for is when you do this reunion with these girls, oh, we got to be present. We both got to be there.
Yes. Let's do like the love and hip hops. You know how they have the
I think we ask.
uh
We don't want nothing. And you got to fly us out and put us up, Shawnee. You know all the things.
of course.
You got to do a
We'll
plane
do
trip.
it.
But we will
Yes.
do it. We will do it.
The
Straight
behind the
up.
scenes stuff. Yes. Talk to them
We will
behind the
do it. We will
scenes.
do it. You can
Yes.
put us up somewhere nice, car service, and we'll share a car. We
Yes.
ain't bougie. We'll share a car to come
Yeah.
to our hotel and
Yeah.
suite. We want a suite. All of that good stuff.
Of
First
course.
class.
Of
But yeah,
course.
just two questions apiece on the reunion
Yeah.
for the girls. But those are your four girls that's gonna get your show back to where it needs to be. Boom.
Definitely get
Those
it
girls.
cracking.
Those girls. So we didn't gave you the blueprint, Shawnee. I know sometimes, when you working, you need outside people to come and tell you what it is. We're telling you. Those are the girls. I bet you those
Yes.
ratings will go through the roof because all of these girls we just named, Mika would have to get back into the grind. They already have a huge following themselves, and people love to watch them anyway. People love to talk about them anyway. You put
Yeah.
them on your platform, boom, there you go.
There
So
you
there it
go.
is, Shawnee O'Neal. I'm sending this directly to you. Boom.
Yes, Shawnee. Yes, honey. Vashonda. Yes, Vashonda
Yes,
Nelson. This is for
yes,
you.
that's what we got going on for you. So moving on to my other show that we both like, Married to Medicine.
Hey.
And you can ready to cut out because
Ow, ow, ow.
to the listeners, to the viewers, he's getting ready to act really wild with this. But
Paging Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Dr.
hey,
Heavenly.
yes,
Hey.
yes. So let's talk about that. What you think about this season?
It's a Mariah last season, and it's a snooze fest, honey.
You are a huge Mariah fan.
They definitely dropped the ball. They definitely, letting her leave the show. Definitely dropped the ball. Definitely, the season was definitely underwhelming. I'm very disappointed. The storylines are faking for us. They done dragged Miss Squire from the dungeon, honey. From the depths of the dungeon, honey. She begged, borrowed, and broke herself to get back on this platform, honey, because she has no jobs. Because let's be clear, Sister Circle's been canceled since last year. So she needed that little coins, and they ain't paying her much. And so it's the desperation for me, honey. They're trying to keep this. They're trying to um uh They're trying to save the season by bringing these old chicks back. Carrie Wells, Lisa Nicole Cloud. Like these are boring women. Like they're not going to. They're not saving the show. And these ratings have been under 1 million views. Each episode barely gets 4,000 something views from the fans. This season sucks. And Heaven's big mouth can't save the show. It's actually hurting the
We're not
show.
really alone. Let's talk about that shade comment. You're gonna tell me, okay, they released the looks for the beginning. I'm like, okay. You was like, Ashley, your girl looks good. I said, Heavenly, you said she looks great. I'm like, oh wow. You said I'm getting ready to post all the looks on my page. I go to somebody's page and it says Shrek. You look good this time. You stole your. We could tell that. What did you say, Mariah? Your channel and Mariah. I really want to know.
Yes, honey. Mariah inspired that look, honey. You know, when Mariah's your inspiration, miracles can happen, and she was truly inspired by the essence of who Mariah is and what Mariah gives to the show. So she got her wig coiffed like Mariah has her hair coiffed at 90% of the reunions that we saw her on. Her that coiffed, curly coiffed wig, and that gown, honey, was very Mariah-esque. It was very ball gown, very snatched at the waist, giving you curves. So she definitely was inspired by Mariah Huck, and it's an honor. It's an honor. I know Mariah feels flattered that she inspired the less fortunate and the less fashionable, honey.
Oh my goodness, you are horrible. When I seen it, and then you tagged the lady. See, that's another thing about you.
Yeah, I'm about that life. I don't mind tagging
You
her.
totally are about that life. When you tagged her, I was mortified. I said, "What?" I said, "Oh, you said
Yes,
you was going to be nice, and your followers was going to tell me, well, he was being nice." I said, "Absolutely
and I
not."
was. I gave her. I just said she looked good. But she do look like Shrek, and she has fish lips. She does, and she look like her breath stank. And she
Oh,
does.
not the breath stinking.
Yes. And Daddy don't want her like she making it seem to be, honey. And she needs
How
to
you
accept
know
it. Her,
Daddy don't want her?
he
Daddy
don't
like
want Daddy is he calls her buddy, so he's in the. I'm still he's in the middle for me, like because what man calls their wife buddy? And they have a buddy relationship. They don't have the affectionate husband and wife dynamic we see with Simone and Cecil. We've seen with Mariah and Aiden, but they don't have that chemistry at all. Very disconnected, honey. But she tries to tries to make it seem like they have this wonderful, perfect marriage, which we know it's not perfect at all.
so. What do you think about? Now I like Contessa, and you know I like Contessa a lot, and her husband, and just kind of everything that's going on with
Yes.
that. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't like Contessa. I never liked Contessa. I
How you
um
gonna mess up a
I,
But
I don't
Heavenly
like
said,
her.
told you that Heavenly has found a lot of respect to her, and she calls her
Well,
Contessa
I
all
have
the time.
not. Well, I have not yet. So I'm gonna call her Contessa every time I talk about Contessa Metcalf. I think that she needs to. She's very boring and very dry. But I think that this season the drama she's bringing by exposing her marriage and its flaws is entertaining to watch. Because Scott is clearly like he's disconnected. Because she's so consumed with building this businesswoman, which is a great thing, building businesses, being an achieving woman, but where's the balance? And I think that's the
Right.
issue in her relationship is the balance. Because Scott needs her, Scott wants her attention too. So I think she has to find that balance. But she's definitely dry compared to the cast as a whole. She's definitely next to Doctor Jackie on the driest and boring. Like
And what
watching them
is
is
it
like watching
about
paint dry.
Dr. Jackie? Now, you know I love Dr. Jackie, and I love just
Child.
her calmness and her soothing. Jackie be like, I'm not gonna answer that again. I like that. That's a part of me because I can be that girl too. I'll be the girl that'll get right with you, but then I'll also be the girl like we not gonna talk about this for the 50th time.
But Jackie's fake and phony, and she's fraudulent, honey, and she's a fraud, honey, and she's shown her colors, and as Mariah
You call
said
Jackie a whole fraud.
yes, and as Jackie said, I mean, as Mariah said years ago, Jackie does her shade in a different way. She does. She's very
But
shady, but she does it in a
she
way.
has that Kenya thing going. She doesn't have. She has a really good vocabulary, and
Good.
She don't have to cuss and holler and raise her voice. She can just get with you just like that in her monotone voice, and that's
But her
it.
vocabulary is not that good because she's not even good at having a confrontation. She's not good at having conversation. She says two words, and then she sits there like a mannequin. Like so Jackie is just in the room. She's a body in the room. She's not even there. Like when I watch the episode, I never see for Jackie. I see Simone loud self and Heavy loud self and Toya loud self. Jackie is just a body in the room. She's a body in the room. Jackie needs to go. Grandma needs to go. Her and Kurt needs to go ahead of retirement and live their lives, rest of their life, doing traveling the world. Cause we need somebody new. Jackie gotta go. Jackie with this fake thing she does, and then she doesn't want to hold heavily accountable. And this is your friend, and your friend's a bully, and you sit there and you enable the bully by laughing and by not saying anything. Yeah, she needs to
I
go.
like Heavenly, and Heavenly can be a bully. Them girls always call Heavenly fat and everything else. They bully her and tell her she's fat every chance they get.
She is fat. She used to be fat. She used to be fat, and she's still mad at Mariah because she's supposed to be on the show first season, y'all. She's supposed to be casted on the first season, but the producers, not Mariah, but Perverse Pop, them three white men told her she was too fat and she did not fit the look they were going for. So she had to lose the weight, and she had gastric surgery. She didn't lose it naturally, y'all. Let's not get it twisted. She had help. Let's not get it twisted. She had help. She didn't lose it
Nobody ever thought
natural.
that she went and lost that weight by working out. We know she
Yeah,
went,
but some people are delusional
no,
like
they
her.
stupid. They thought that that lady lost all that weight like that. They're stupid because that lady didn't use all of that weight like that.
But
It's not
her
the
fans are
she
delusional,
has
and
been
they would
through
think
all
that.
her life. You could
But her,
tell.
fa- but her fans are delusional, and she wants people to believe that she lost the natural, but we know she didn't, you know. But I want to clarify to the world, she did not lose the natural. She had help. She's like Star Jones had help. Yeah, they both had surgery.
She had a jump start. Now it's up to
Yes.
her to continue to push forward with the exercise and the right eating and all of that. It's up to her. Yes.
But she's to
And
practice what she preach because she's big on not shaming women about their body sizes and the body sizes or body shaming women, but she does it now because she's lost the way she body shames Toya, she body shames Jackie, she body shames Simone, she body shames everybody.
I
But
don't
baby,
like. Now that part I don't
you
like
can't.
because to your point, she was a big woman at first, okay?
A
And
big woman.
if Toya or somebody decided they want to get a gastric bypass, they will be skinny like Jackie. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So let's
Be
be real.
sick,
She
yes.
would never get skinny like Jackie.
No, she don't need to ever get skinny like Jackie. 'Cause Jackie needs to gain some weight, honey. Cause I'll be worried about Jackie, honey. Jackie's like she getting thinner and thinner every
Jackie has
season.
a small frame, and you can tell.
She don't eat either. She don't eat. She eat
She's
grass.
healthy though,
She eats grass.
and she likes
She needs
it.
to eat chicken.
Remember when
She
Simone
needs
bought
to
her
eat
lunch?
chicken.
Remember
But
when Simone bought her lunch, and Simone was like, "I know what you like," and Simone knew
grass.
exactly what she liked.
But Courage likes meat. Courage wants a home cooked meal. That man wants a home cooked meal. Jackie don't even cook. And Curtis is a big man.
She doesn't. Nah, I can't take her. She doesn't cook. No.
I see why Curtis got that mistress because their mistress was thick. Let's be clear. So their
You know
mistress like she could
what?
cook.
We
That's
got
why he kept her around for a while.
you gonna come up off Dr. Jackie. Now you gonna come up off her.
Yeah, I can't stand Jackie. I can't stand that woman.
We're not condoning adultery. We're not doing that.
Now I'm not condoning it, but I understand it. When there's a situation, I get it. Curtis likes to eat. Jackie don't cook.
Anyway, how you think this reunion is going to come out? What you think? Because again, Andy likes to play. He's so
Child.
ridiculous.
Well, I know that all the girls were there. Carrie and Lisa and Cole were there too. And so I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be Quad and Heavenly tag teaming as usual. Against Simone and Toya and Carrie and Lisa Nicole. So it's gonna be them four going at it with them
Lisa
two.
Nicole, I'm still confused as to why they even brought her back. Shay should have brought Darren back with her, but we know Darren ain't coming back on there.
Nah, Darren, he been through enough. He been through enough. So
But
I
but, but she should have brought Darren back on there, where we can have Darren messy ways and his shenanigans,
oh
because that's when it's
Lord.
good. When Darren was up there cutting up, because he was really showing off. Darren, I said that Darren know better than this. He really
But
do.
see, Darren's a doctor, so he had to. I'm glad he had to stop because he's a doctor still outside the show. So stuff he was doing probably he was hurting him in the professional world. people looking at him kind of funny and not wanting to, and
You got Darn around there
judging
giving out all
him.
that eggplant.
That part. So I'm glad he didn't come back. But listen, Cole, she's boring. I don't know why they brought her back either.
And I don't know why they brought her back.
They should have brought Jill back. You remember Jill with Jill from season 3? Jill,
Who?
Jill. She was on season 3. Her and Heavenly stayed into it, and she was getting Heavenly together. Heavenly could not handle her mouth, and I like Jill.
Sure
They
was.
should have brought her back. They should have brought her back.
Well, I mean, he'll recycle the girls and he brings them back and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that's something he may consider. Cause
Cut Quad. He let Quad go, honey. Miss
he was
Quad needs to
going
go.
around.
No, because she came on there and Heavenly was being messy and brought up and started some drama with her and Toya to begin with, and she want to say Toya bed borrowed and stole for her home. Okay, girl, that's still her home, but you bed borrowed, stole, broke, pleaded in bed to get back on the show, honey, so you could come for Toya, honey. But remember, Toya is the one that's the head wife, honey. She's getting the six figures that you are not getting anymore, honey. You're getting the scraps, honey. You should be lucky that Toya allowed you to be in the scene with her. Miss Quad the fraud, honey. Miss Quad, you don't got it. You definitely don't got it, honey.
Okay, so what you think about here recently? Um, your girl Nene had did an interview
Yes, come
and
on.
she compared herself. She said she was the Beyonce of Real Housewives of Atlanta. What do you think about that comment?
I laughed at it. I was like, wow, okay, so you're beyond you're consider yourself to Beyonce of the Atlanta girls. I get what she was trying to say, but to say the Beyonce was a reach. Like I get it, you were the OG, you started the show, you helped get it off to where you helped make it a big household name,
Right.
help it become this mega show. But let's be clear, the show is going on without you, so clearly you are not as needed as you thought because the show went without you 3 times. They filmed seasons without you 3 different times. So clearly, the show can go on without your presence and your essence.
Right. And
So
what she got it confused is like Destiny's Child wouldn't go on if Beyonce wasn't in the group.
that part, because Kelly
Uh,
and Michelle can
and she has
sing.
shown you the show has went on and it went further without you being on it. So I don't
That
even know
part.
why she would even it's foolish, but again, a lot of those people on those shows really think that they're bigger in their head than what they really are. Like they really, really believe in their mind, like they're huge stars. And I'm
They
just
do
like, what did I miss? They
that
really
part.
believe that they're huge stars. Don't get me wrong. There are people that have entered these shows, like Kenya. She was a star before
Mhm.
this it even came about. Kim Fields. We knew Kim Field, like, okay, Tootie from, I mean, all the way up to Living Single. Okay, they were
Mhm.
stars before the show. Kim Fields, I actually was watching Lifetime, was it last weekend or something? She was on something in there, and then she's actually on a show on Netflix. It's a show
The
that,
Upshaws. The
yeah,
Upshaws.
so, okay, somebody like them, like I said, Cynthia, world renowned model,
Yeah.
the fashion world knew about her. Okay,
Mhm.
so those three ladies that was on that show, if they was talking reckless like that, it'd be like, well, yeah, we did know y'all before this, and if you, well, Kenya, even if she stopped today tomorrow, we would still know who she is because she keeps all the money rolling.
That
You know?
part.
But these other girls, I'm just like, they're interesting.
Thirsty.
Yeah, they're very. Yeah, but Nene was the one. What was it? First, second season, she said that she was a rich bitch, and Sheree had to check her and
Oh
let her know
yeah.
that what she thought was rich was not rich.
Mhm.
So it's
Child.
coming from somebody that don't really understand what
They
rich
don't, and she.
actually is. So I mean, what do you expect? But I just found it very ludicrous that she said it.
But her ego has blown up, and that's part of the reason why they went on without her because of that ego that ego right there showed in an interview that she thinks she's bigger than the show, and you can't be a part of an ensemble if you think you are the show. It doesn't work that way because they all bring something to the show.
Yeah,
So you can't say this is my show. It doesn't work that way because without those supporting cast members, you wouldn't have a show.
right, right. Well, I think Andy and them gave her too much rope.
They
Uh,
did.
too much rope. I mean, when they start allowing her to say she wasn't going to film with certain people, and then if certain people wasn't kicked off the show, like when I think in general, when they start allowing that, whether it's Shawnee O'Neal, Andy Cohen, Mona Scott, when they start allowing stuff like that,
Mhm.
it's when these people really start getting it in their mind because they hosting parties and different things like this that
Mhm.
they're getting paid for. And being on other reality shows, then they start thinking that they're bigger than this show.
Exactly.
It just really gets out of hand, and I just think that they all have to do a better job with checking these people. Like the first
That part.
couple of times they try that, they need to try their hand and kick them straight off the show.
That
You know,
part.
because let's be really, really clear, and this is the reality. You could create a Nene on any show. Like the bad guy, you can you can hand mold any bad guy. You really
That
can.
part.
All you got to do is give them the right storyline, have them do certain things, and that's what those producers are there to do. So let's be really clear. Those type of people come a dime a dozen. You can
Exactly.
find them. Now, it may take a moment to build up that fan base and all of that, but that
Mhm.
goes with the process. But you can find these people. The difference is when you get people on these shows that already had fame and notoriety and a fan base like I said, the Kenyas, the Kim Fields, the Cynthias. When you get them to be a part of the show, okay, that's a different element because they
Exactly.
already had these things baked in. Anini was a nobody. We didn't even know who she was. I mean, we only know who she is because of this show, right?
Exactly.
All these other things that opened up for her after that, we wouldn't even know who she was. So it's just again, and since she's been kicked off, we don't really hear much from her until she do these random interviews talking crazy. Other than that, we don't we don't
No, we don't
who
hear
is
from her.
like who are you?
But now she has her lounge, Anithia's lounge, honey. So she's back in the spotlight. She's opened it up, and
Hopefully she
Tamar was
do
there
better.
screaming and singing for her, and she sounded horrible. Um, yeah, Tamar was there. She sung for her
Yeah,
friend, and she sounded
yeah.
horrible. They
Yeah, the
had
homegirl
mic
Mike was
issues,
there. They showed Tamar. She has a lot of the girls, the local girls from Atlanta, show up.
but no peach holders.
No, no,
Mm.
none of them. But she had some of the local girls around there
Oh
show up
yeah,
and show support. So I mean, it's all good. I mean,
Instagram fans, they were there
right?
too, honey.
Instagram fans that she don't want to take pictures with, and
That
then don't
part.
shun any chance she get. Speaking of that, it's so ironic. I had a friend, the girl that does my hair, actually was in National Harbor, here in Maryland, where she has her clothing store.
Mhm.
Nene has a clothing store in the National Harbor, right
Okay.
in the MGM. Yeah, she went because it's the MGM casino there. They went in there. They said, and again, this is what my hairstylist said. These are not my words. I've never said this. This is what she has said when she was, you know, straightening my hair out.
Come on
And
here.
she said that when she went in there, everything was overpriced. She said she couldn't find anything that she really liked. She said, and honestly, the stuff looked like it was something they bought off of AliExpress and then put high price tickets on it.
Ooh.
And those were her words. And I said, did you take any pictures, any videos? I asked her that because I was going to get them from her. She said, no. She said, we was in there. She said, I was really mad more than anything. She said, you haven't been out there? I said, no. I don't have no desire to go to her store. I said, they kill me, her and Rashida, always having these clothing stores, but they don't wear none of the clothes that they sell. Not one
That
of them.
part.
I said, if they don't wear 'em, why would I wear 'em? They wear the
That
brand
part.
names. Okay. I'm not going to patronize their businesses and they don't even wear their own clothes. That don't even sound right.
Exactly. It sounds foolish.
But she was disgusted with that experience out there. This was her last week. Last weekend she went out there because her birthday was last weekend, so that's where she was for her birthday. She
Oh
went out there
wow.
and she said she went in there and she was like so disappointed because she was asking me had I been to the one in Atlanta, and I was like no. And she said hopefully that's better than this one, and I said well this is the newer one though. This one in MGM is the newer one. I said that one she had out there in Atlanta. She said that one for a while, but this is the newer one, so it's interesting that this wouldn't be better than that one.
Cause one of them closed down. There was one in Atlanta. She has in Atlanta that closed down. It's one of
Okay,
them
so
that,
maybe she don't even have that anymore. But this
yeah.
one, right in National Harbor and MGM, she has. And my hairstylist went there last weekend. It was not impressed. She
She was
couldn't
not
get the
impressed.
trying to patronize and buy something. Nope, she couldn't.
Oh wow. So she didn't get swagged out.
Honey, it didn't work for her, honey. That's what she told me. It didn't work. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, well, I mean, you tried.
she
That's all I can say.
tried.
She tried.
So
So
you gonna have
yeah,
to go. You gonna have to go next time. You gonna have to go and
you
video and
know, I
take
may
some
take a
pictures.
gander up. I may take a gander up there. But see, I'll do better. You know, I'm gonna get the you know, I'll go ahead and get the pictures and the videos to send to you.
That part. Look.
You know, your girl will come through and do
Oh
that.
yes. Oh
I'll be like,
yes.
check it out. You know what? My cousin's in town, so maybe we can take a gander out there.
Oh,
I'll definitely,
okay.
and I might can make that happen for you this weekend. How about that?
And wear one of her outfits. Just try one of her dresses.
You probably won't let me try it on in that fit that she in.
Yes.
Ain't no telling. She probably won't. So I mean, so we got her going on, and then just a lot of messiness going on just in the industry right now. Did you see that whole thing with Akbar V and Alexis Scott that mess?
Yes, yeah, that was a lie. I'm like, both of them talking about each other kids, and it's just like leave the kids
This is
out
my
of it.
thing. They both act like they about that life, right? But did you see the video when they were leaving the club? And Akbar actually ran up on her, like within arm distance of her, but nobody saw it.
Mm-mm.
So I said, y'all about that life, but y'all was in arm distance. So why didn't anybody swing on either end? I'm confused.
That part. That child. That's an internet thug.
Yeah,
Internet
that thug
thug.
life, that thug passion, I don't think was resonating when they were out there in front of the public because let's be really clear with the fight, somebody gonna have to lose, somebody gonna have to win.
That
And I
part.
don't think they ready for whoever the loser is going to be. You know, everybody gonna see it.
They're not, and you know, and they did it for cloud. They do it
I
for
think so
attention.
too. I think it was more motivated by other stuff. I agree with you. I don't think
Yeah.
it, yeah, I definitely think it was motivated by something else because I mean, apparently these girls had again we'll use this term friendship loosely. Some level of friendship because Akbar was hollering out she used to let the girl sleep on the couch.
Hmm.
If you letting her sleep on your couch, y'all have to be something, right?
Somewhat, yeah. Some type of close connection to let in your home.
Right. So that's what I was thinking. So yeah, I mean,
But
but
I
people,
about crazy anyway.
okay, so
She
people
cuckoo.
started saying that it went too far when they were talking about the kids. What do you feel about that?
It did because you know she brought up Akbar's children and said things, and of course Akbar went way too far. You know her child's a baby and saying things about the child's mental health. It was team too much. It was like okay, the kids should be off limits. Like why are y'all bringing the kids into y'all issues? To me, it's a boundary that should always be made clear. The kids stay all out of the drama. Leave the kids at the
Well, what
kids.
I'll say
Let them
about
be
the kid
kids.
thing, and I think you and I've discussed this before. For me, I think it's a very slippery slope with these folks because first of all, any toddlers, not teenagers, because teenagers can make their own Instagram pages and different things like that, right?
Hmm.
But toddlers and kids like in elementary school and stuff like that, they didn't choose to have an Instagram page. They didn't choose to be on your page. They didn't choose to be on your Facebook. They didn't choose to be on your Twitter, right? And we already know the type of world we live in. So when you put
Hmm.
these kids in on those platforms, like because we know some people have actually made pages for their kids, right? When you put them on platforms that they didn't ask to be on and different things like that, and then you say, my kids are off limits. Well, they should be off limits and they shouldn't be on a page. They should be off limits and they shouldn't be have their own page. You can't say they're only on limits when you're gonna say something positive. Again,
That
we know the
part.
world we live with in, and we know I wouldn't personally. Let me just say this: I wouldn't personally attack anybody's child. that's just despicable to me.
Mhm.
That's the way I feel. But what I'm saying is, in this world, there are no boundaries. People will attack your child down to the bone like they are an adult. So, as a parent, if you worry about that and that's not something you want, why do you have them posted up? Because let's be really clear, it's a lot of people that have kids, have whole families that we don't even know nothing about. Yeah, we know they got a family. We can Google it, we can
Exactly.
pull it up, we can do all this. But let's be clear, you never see them in no spotlight. They definitely ain't got no separate page for these kids. Yeah, we know they exist, but we don't know they exist. So it's like them twins Beyonce
Exactly.
had. We know she had them, but we only seen them 3 or 4 times. The only reason why
That
we see
part.
Blue so much is because that was her mistake. I think she put Blue out there, got all the ridicule with Blue, and she says, "Okay, we ain't doing this with these other two. We know they exist.
Mhm.
We've had some sightings, but that's it." So I think if they really want the
That
kids to be
part.
off limits, keep them off limits completely,
That
off
part.
limits.
That
If
part.
that's how you moving,
I agree.
keep them off limits. But they don't do that. It's only
They
good when you,
don't.
oh, they're cute, oh, he's so talented, he's so great, she's so wonderful. It's fine. But the minute somebody talk reckless, and they do, because I've seen some really harsh comments about people's kids, and I'm just like, oh, that's rough. That's mean. But I'm like, if it was me and I was in their position, my kids wouldn't even be fooled up with that. Only way to catch sightings is if the paparazzi caught them swimming or doing things that kids do. But me, putting them up there when they get old enough and they can have an Instagram page or Twitter page and they want to create that, okay, that's what teenagers do. I'm not going to block them from being like children. But the other side to it,
Exactly.
when they're younger than that, you know who does a really great job with that? LeBron James. His sons are old enough and they have Instagram pages. And I never forget the one son, Bronny, I think it was. He was on he was on a live,
Mhm.
and he's a gamer, and he was playing, and if somebody got on there was being stupid and was like, well, who's your dad? And he said Steph Curry. You know, the internet went crazy when he said that because he was being a smart ass, because this was some adult man picking with him saying, who's your dad? He's like,
Mhm.
Steph Curry. And then when
Wow.
they said that, it went crazy. They kept playing the clip back. LeBron laughed, of course, and even Steph chimed in. But again, his kids are never really in a bunch of stuff. We know they got Instagram pages. You can follow them, but I'm pretty sure he is really grooming them and saying, okay, you're not gonna say this, you're not gonna do. He's being a parent.
Mhm.
We are not. You're not a regular teenager.
Mhm.
So certain things you can't say. I hate my parents today or live. You can't say that.
Exactly.
So he's
Exactly.
making sure he's managing that piece to where they can still be kids and be teenagers, but they understand the dynamics of everything they say, how it's going to be taken and ran with. So
Mhm.
I think he does a great job with that. Shout out to LeBron and Savannah. You know, I've always been a huge fan of that family. I'm a huge fan of LeBron. I just like the way he carries and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like the Currys too. You know, the Currys are a good, solid. They appear to be a
I
good,
love the Currys. They're a beautiful
yeah.
family.
They're a good, solid family. They appear to have it all together with the cute little girls and the little boy. I mean they just yeah, just cute
Beautiful
all
family, boy.
families over there.
Yes, and LeBron did just get kicked out the playoffs, so I know he's his
Don't you
team
tell
got
me
kicked.
about that. That you see me about clothes?
Look,
Hey, look, let me position my
look.
clothes right. You better
They got kicked out the playoffs,
oh,
honey. Got kicked out, honey. So
you
they
better
like
address it right. King James.
Lebanon James got kicked out the playoffs this year, honey. Like I said last year, they won because they had no competition. This year they got kicked out by the Suns, I believe. The Suns,
Oh, you tried it.
the
You holla,
Suns.
I believe. You know. Why you want to say you believe? You know.
I believe it.
Don't do it.
Bless their heart. They
Uh,
won. They won because because
I
Kobe
was deeply,
died. They gave
I'm
them the
gonna tell you,
win.
Ron, I was deeply wounded for you. I took the L with
So
you. I didn't like it. I ain't like nothing about it.
but it was gonna happen because they shouldn't have won the championship last year. It was a fluke.
You saying saying it real calm. Like I don't like your demeanor right now. I really don't.
But I'm saying it was a fluke, you know. Kobe passed away in January, and it was like a convenient. We gonna get the Lakers a win. We're gonna bless them with this one last win since Kobe passed away. And it
I
was,
don't like
I
it
understand
either.
that. So, but
So
upward and onward. The Suns are going forward.
uh-uh. Anywho, what you think about Kim? Well, Kanye rather. He's dating some artist girl. What you think about that? Cause I know you like the Kardashians.
Well, I just think you should wait till you get divorced or you start dating. I just feel like it's easy to wait till it's like you can talk and have friends, but I think just to start publicly dating, especially in the public forum, and we see you're a public figure, you should kind of do stuff like that. Or keep that on the low and not allowed to get publicly shown because it looks messy. You're going through a divorce right now. You're still legally married to another woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I actually just wish they get back together. Honestly, I hope they just figure it out. And
yeah, they meant for each other.
they really are. I totally agree with you. People always say, I'm like, oh no, they're definitely meant for each other. Ain't nobody there to handle him. Ain't nobody there to handle her,
Mm-mm.
but each other.
And they
Yeah,
got all them kids. At this point, they got all them kids. They might as
they
well just
got
stay
all them kids
together.
together. Beautiful kids, beautiful kids.
Yes, beautiful kids.
And
North,
love them.
south, east, west, west coast, east coast, north coast,
But
all the
them kids are
coasts.
gorgeous,
Yes,
gorgeous. They're just cuteness overload, all of them.
yes.
I hope they get back together. I hope the West can work this out. So, what you think about Safari and Mena?
There. It was for cloud because I pulled up their marriage thing as well. Myself posted on my page, and it says that their marriage was what you call when a marriage is not
No,
annulled. So
yeah.
how are you divorcing if the marriage has been if the divorce has been annulled? It means that the divorce is not y'all not the divorce has been stopped, but you letting the world think y'all going through a divorce. Make that make sense? Cloud chasers, they're cloud chasers. They want attention. Child. Savari ain't going nowhere. This girl pregnant. He ain't finna. She ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, well, you know, men have been, trolloping around and,
Child.
they jumping from hop to hop. When she was dating Bow Wow, I said that she know she done lost her mind now.
She did. She really
Engaged to
lost
Bow
her
Wow, I said
mind
that literally she doing anything now. Like,
at
honestly,
that point.
I'm like, you went from rich,
Hmm.
rich
Cree Squad.
on the show, and
Yeah.
then was flew with Bow Wow and engaged to Bow Wow, and like this is public. Like, what is happening?
Child. The
And at one point,
most.
remember she told Mona she ain't never coming back. I said these girls think they get with these guys with this little bit of change in age. I ain't never coming back. Well, what happened? Did he break up with you?
That part, because you came back.
Exactly.
So,
With a tail between the legs. And
exactly.
so, and then Safari, I don't care what nobody say. He'll date all these other women, do all this. Nikki is the one that got away. He want Nikki back so bad.
No, Nikki won no prize. So I don't say she's the one that got
I
away.
think,
I
I
think
think you better leave my Nikki
Erica.
alone.
I think Erica was a better woman. I think Erica actually is an improvement
Nikki
and
is a bigger
upgrade.
fish than Erica. Come on now.
No, Nikki is
Come
plastic
on.
full of silicone.
Well,
She's
yeah,
not even
Red for the
human.
last 15 years. Come on now.
She
Erica been
The
in
Queen of
Chicago
Rap. That's a reach. You said Queen of Rap, not the
for the last
Queen.
15 years. Yes.
No,
Who was
no,
saying Nikki was giving her
no.
her money? It wasn't one person.
She wasn't the Queen of Rap for 15 years. No,
Who?
no.
Who did it?
She's a bubblegum she's a bubblegum rapper. Bubblegum rap. Yeah, she may be the queen of she's the queen of pop rap, but she's not the queen of rap.
Oh my!
She's the queen
She
of pop
started with
rap.
underground rap. As they get bigger and bigger,
She's
that's
the queen.
all of it. I mean, look at the big name rap artists as men. They start underground and it's real gutter and it's real gritty, and then as they transition to a bigger name, yes, it does change.
And she
That's
didn't
what
write her music
happened with
either.
her.
But Safari wrote all her rap. She's not even the writer of her. You can't call somebody a queen that doesn't write her
She
raps.
made her, but
Like
let me really say, she
Safari
made
wrote her
herself a hit
raps.
when she wasn't with Safari. So why you
But
can't write
Safari
yourself a good rap?
created
How about
her.
this? He's such a good writer. Write himself a good rap. Write himself out of this
He
playoff box that he in.
I agree, but he wrote her rap, so she's not. She's a prototype. She's a creation. She's a little Kim
I don't
clown.
believe that. I
She's a
think
clone.
Cardi is a world class clown
But
in a
Nicki
certain
is too. Both of them are clowns.
well,
Both are
Safari is
clowns.
Bozo. He is the king of the clowns. How about
And
that?
she's the queen of the clowns, honey. She's the queen of the clowns. Yes. Yes, honey.
Leave Queen Minaj alone.
She just raised her child and just leave the rapping alone, honey. Megas took her spot. Megas came in and shut it down. Cardi is the new queen. She's reigning, honey, on her
This
throne.
girl can't even talk.
Yes.
Okay, Cardi can
She can
barely
talk
talk.
in
She got
rap.
so much
Yes. She
stuff.
can talk in rap.
All she
She's
do is
very
just sit
intelligent.
there.
No, she actually talks and has conversations. She
I,
actually has conversations. I've
I'd rather, you know
listened to
what?
her talk.
Supposed to hearing her talk, I'd rather ram a screwdriver in my neck, my throat, or my neck
But see,
every
she's
time.
intelligent. Like we take her more seriously than we take Nicki. Nicki's not even taken seriously
I can't
because
take
she's a
nothing
bubblegum
serious
rapper.
intelligently.
And Nicki's a pass around, so we know she's been
And
all
so
through the
was Cardi,
industry.
and this is the
Nah,
thing.
she's not a pass around in the
Hold
industry
up,
though. She's not in the industry.
Cardi, she was a prostitute and a stripper. How she ain't
But
a pass?
outside the, I'm talking about in the industry. Nicki's
No,
been
pass
with
around is pass
Wayne,
around. We
been
not
been,
gonna
been
let
she's
you
been
let
passed
me
around in the
brand now.
industry.
Your
Yeah,
whole
we're gonna define it.
her
We're
whole
going to define it. Yes,
to a hoe.
we're gonna define it. Nicki's a pass around in the industry. She's been through everybody in the industry. She's currently with a pedophile. So I mean, if
And
we're
this
gonna
is the
we
difference is okay. Let me tell
the
you what the difference is. Nikki is all alleged, right? Cardi told us that she was
no,
a
it's
hoe
no, it's
that was
alleged.
drugging niggas and stealing their money.
But it's not alleged. Nicki is with a pedophile. It's not alleged. I pulled the documents up too and posted
Oh,
the documents. So he's
I
he's
said
a
keep the full
pedophile.
receipts about Nikki. You can keep
Yes.
them to yourself. Keep them to yourself. I'm not interested. I don't want. I can't even see it.
Yes.
I
Yeah, he's a
can't see it.
pedophile. It's, and
I don't want to see it. No.
if that shows you behind what kind of class she has. She sells to anything, honey.
Cardi is gotta.
And Nikki is trash. So I mean,
All right. Next story. Did you see that Garcelle has been making the news here lately about this whole thing with, well, two separate things. The one
Mhm,
thing when she was actually on the show, and I know you was happy that she joined the cast of Real Housewives,
mhm,
and the comment she made to Paris Hilton's mom that that the daughter was always on the phone, and every time she saw her,
mhm.
she was really rude. Like, what do you think about that? Because the people were saying that Garcelle was out of line. She should have said nothing about her children. I said, first of all, Paris is an adult. But what you think about that comment?
I mean, that comment, I didn't find nothing negative about it. The parents is grown, and it was just a genuine comment. It was nothing that deep. It was nothing to me that was like, oh, she's attacking a child. It's like she just gave her opinion.
Yeah, I didn't find it to be like what everybody was making it out to be. I'm like, all she just said was Paris always was in her phone, and then we find out the mom said, well, Paris is really shy, so she probably most of all wasn't really on her phone, but that's her way of like not having to talk to people and deal with people.
Hmm.
So, and then the second comment with the Garcelle was, and our girl Kenya weighed in on this about that whole thing. Her saying that what was it again? What was the thing about the races?
Then her and Kyle, they had Kyle and Garcelle had a beef, and it was a beefing about the donations. Kyle said that Garcelle donation didn't go through last season, and Garcelle was upset about it, because it was like to her it implied, the stereotypical things they think of black people, that we don't pay our bills, we don't take tips, this and that. And she was expressing it to Kyle, and Kenya weighed in on it, and it was like everything shouldn't be made to be about race.
Yeah, and then our girl Kenya weighed in on it and was like, it was hogwash, and and the Kenya's so wild. She broke it all the way down to who else didn't pay their donation. She said
That
Nikki didn't
part.
pay her donations. Portia never paid her money. I was like, ooh. I
So
mean, in my
yeah.
mind, Kenya say either you paying your money or you're not. And if you didn't pay your money up that you said you were going to donate, that's just what it is. I mean, if you say you were going to donate and you say you was going to pay, you should have paid. And these girls didn't. So
But I
I mean,
understood both
do you
points.
think it was racially motivated? What are your thoughts on it?
I understood what Garcia was saying, because it did, we are stereotyped as a people, as of not paying bills and this and that. So when Kyle said it, I understood like Garcia being offended by it, because it's like, you putting out that stereotypical. response, a stereotypical thing that by saying I didn't pay my, I didn't get my donation, or it didn't go through, you didn't ever receive it, and that was not true. That I did donate it, and I was made aware of it and fixed the situation. So I understood what Garcelle's issue was, but I also understood where King was coming from because. It wasn't like Kyle. I don't think Kyle intentionally was trying to make her look bad or was coming from a racially motivated place. And I think that's what King
Okay.
was saying. Was not coming from a place of I'm gonna out her because she's black. So I think this what I get. That's where King was coming from.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, I don't think everything has to do with race. I mean, either you paid or you didn't.
that
I
part,
mean, if you didn't pay, I have a right, and you told me you was gonna pay. I have a right to say something about it. I mean, that's
yeah,
just kind of what it is. If you pay, I'm not gonna say nothing about it because there's nothing to say. But if you didn't pay, I am gonna call you out. I mean, that's just how it's gonna go. You're gonna get called out.
that's true.
So, I mean, yeah. And then our girl Rihanna has graced us with some beautiful pictures lately.
Stunning,
Ah, she always gets it
stunning.
right, right?
Yes, she looks gorgeous, and
Even
she
when
just
she
is
just leaving
stunning.
out to go to the store or whatever, or just doing a quick run, she always gets it right.
She does. She looks gorgeous, and she just knows her angles, and she
Yes,
knows how to, cause she knows how to own it, and she can
she
take. She does
does.
not. She doesn't let the clothes what she wears take her. She takes over the clothes, and she
She
commands the
does.
attention of
And it
any
don't matter
photo
what
shoots.
designer. Have you noticed? It doesn't matter what designer.
Nope, it doesn't. She owns it. She works it. It can be white, black. She slays it and gives it the sexuality that she has and her sexiness and her culture. She puts it in everything she does. And I love that.
And then what do you think? You know, her and ASAP Rocky's been going strong. And he has publicly just said how Rihanna is the best relationship, that he's ever had. What do you think about that?
I'm just waiting for Rihanna to say the same thing because she's not said anything yet. So I'm trying to see is this on his side or does she feel the same way? I think it's sweet, if if
Right.
he's falling heads over heels with her, and she hasn't really feeling like that. It's sweet.
Yeah. I mean, he described her as the love of his life.
She put that wop on him, honey. That wop. Done changed his life. Done changed
What
his
she
entire
put
life. That wop, honey. That real wop. Not that Porsche wop. That's real wop, honey. That actually can get a man. That's not somebody else's man. Let's be clear.
Well, let's be really clear. The Lord ain't gonna bless you with somebody's husband.
That
So
part.
that's just not gonna happen. I mean, people always forget that the devil does come with gifts dressed in a bow as well. But the
That
Lord
part.
Himself is not gonna bless you with somebody else's
Oh,
husband. So,
no, he won't.
yeah.
Lord don't bless no mess.
Woo! The Lord don't bless no
Mm-mm.
mess. He don't. He don't. But I was
Mm-mm.
just when people kept just saying it, I'm like, no, that mess she got going on. The Lord didn't sign off on it. That's our mess that she
At
got going
all.
on, and nobody signed off on it. Stop
At
trying to
all.
make this foolishness right.
Exactly. Trying to make it look good. It's not good. It's an embarrassment.
No, it's not. But no,
Uh,
I definitely like ASAP Rocky and Rihanna together. Like I hope that
yes.
they continue
Cute.
their trend and hopefully everything gets better and better. And then we gotta
Mm-hmm.
talk about. We only got a few minutes left, but
Yes.
I don't know how I was trying to not. But this Vivica Fox and 50 Cent and Cuban Link and this whole thing, almost 19 years later, Viv is still talking about 50 as the love of her life and such adulting boyfriend. And we know that the girls have said that 50 is a really good boyfriend. He
Mm-hmm.
showers them with love and chivalry and gifts. And so recently, Viv had did an interview, and it came up again. It always comes up in her interviews, and I'm not. I don't know why she don't have her PR people and her manager to take that off the question list, but she doesn't. It came up again, and when it came up, Cuban Leak initially posted a little comment saying "aw," and then I guess as she thought about it more and more, her friends got in her ear. She was like, it sounded menopausal. Then
Child.
She kept commenting, and I'm like, okay. And then they asked 50 recently on an interview, does it bother him that Vivica Fox always talks about him? And surprisingly enough, he said no. He says, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, she told him that. He's heard that before. Yeah, they were in a relationship, and that is her part of the story. He's not going to stop her from telling her part of the story. And then they said to him, she said that it broke up because y'all went too public. And he was like, yeah, I can agree with that. He says, because it was things that her people was putting out there to the press. Then my people would see it and put stuff out, and
Hmm.
we didn't even know it was going on until after the fact. So, he was definitely on his best behavior when he responded. And I was like, okay, maybe 50's
So
growing.
sweet.
He's getting closer to 50. So he does need to calm down some of his antics that he does in his shenanigans. But I was really happy that he didn't go in and bash her, considering his current girlfriend is clearly bothered by this whole thing, but he still took the high road. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I thought it was sweet. I said, he was responsible, very sweet, and he does, he still does care for Vivica, and he understands that he was a part of her life, and that she still holds him dear to her heart, and he was the man that she thought would have been her husband, thought would have been the man that she'd been with long term. So I thought his response was very sweet, very sweet.
But what do you
Yes,
think
honey.
about Cuban Link responding the
I
way
think
she?
she's young and young, but she did apologize. She did, I think she made a apologize, a comment to the an apology, or
Oh, did
and
she? What did
yeah.
she say?
So, she responded. I forgot what she said, but she did respond, and now they're good. She says like apologize and said she didn't mean any harm, or that she owned up to taking things too far. So yeah,
Well, that's good that she came back and recanted. I
yeah.
mean, my thing of it is that.
Cause Viv is the queen. She's auntie. You don't come for auntie. You don't come for Auntie Hunt. You don't come for Aunt Viv.
And so, yeah, I think she definitely did too much with that. But I mean, we're getting to the end of the hour, so tell me what you got
Yes.
going on. What are your new endeavors that you got going on?
Well, I'm a part of this show called Bro Chat Room.
What is it called?
Bro Chat Room.
Bro chat room. So tell me the
Yes.
basics of bro chat.
It's 5 men of color, a part of the LGBTQ community. We come together to give our opinions on different topics, different issues, different stories, and I was brought on after the creator Mitchell did some casting calls and had some auditionings and stuff, and so me and Theo and Isaiah, which is the two other new co-hosts, were added to this lineup. Because he brought it back.
Okay.
And it's been an interesting journey,
So where's bro chat air at? Like how I've seen it. I mean, you've sent me the
hmm
shows and I've been able to link into it, and you guys have had some really good shows. But how would anybody else watch it? Where would they go?
They had the Bro chat room Instagram page.
Uh huh.
It's a link on the Instagram page. You just type in Bro Chat Room, or you can go on YouTube and key in Bro Chat Room and make sure you key it in just like that, and the channel will pop up, and you can see all the videos that we've done so far. Um, and we've done a lot of videos. There's a lot of great videos about Basketball Wives, about the Housewives, about
Yes.
real world stuff. It's been an interesting process, interesting
Yeah, you
journey.
guys definitely cover all grounds. You're not just isolated to one. I might, you know what? Maybe later on this summer, I might have to get all y'all on the show.
Yes, I would
And we
definitely
could
love
talk about. I mean,
that.
we could definitely make that happen. You and I'll talk off it offline. I
Yeah.
mean, and we could definitely make that happen. I would definitely like to hear. I mean, I've seen it, but actually get you guys talk through the
Oh
dynamics
yeah.
and what makes you guys different. Because we often see the four women, The View.
Yes.
What's that other show that
The talk
yeah, that,
and
and
the
then
real.
even all those shows, right? But we don't have a show that has the four men, different dynamics, different perspectives. So when you were initially telling me this is something you were going to be a part of, I was like, this is going to be good because of the dynamic. It's not anybody doing this. I'm on a big platform. If they are
Yeah.
doing it, it's not big platform. We don't know about it. So I
Exactly.
like the concept. I like where you guys are headed with it. So I'm totally psyched. So definitely we can do that later in the year. Get all of you guys
Yes,
on, and we
fun.
can talk through it and we could get it mixed up. I like mixing it up and getting
Oh
it all.
yes.
We could definitely do that. But if people just want to follow you regular, how can they follow you to get all the receipts, all the tea, and everything that you bring?
Follow me on Instagram at the King of Shade _1. I'm also on Facebook. My name is Jasper, so you just key it in Facebook or the King of Shade or pop up on Facebook under the King of Shade as well. Yes, honey, and
Are you on
yes,
Twitter?
and I'm on Twitter too. At the King of Shade _ on
There you
Twitter,
go.
so you can
And
follow me
trust
on all
me,
of them.
everything that he's on, he's bringing you authentic stuff. Nothing. He's not gaslighting anything. He's not doing anything crazy. It's all authentic. He ain't gonna say
Very.
nothing that he can't back up. And so again, that's what I love about this guy. Even when we talk, we
Yes.
always stay connected and we always talk. But that's the end of my show.
Yes.
Again,
It
I'm
was
here every Sunday
fun.
from 11 to 1. You guys got to come check me back out when we're do this again. Have a great Saturday.
Yes.
We good, Mo?